Hi, college. Okay, today I want to spend some time talking about rhythmic dictation using subdivision. So if you take a look at the first example, we are in 4/4, simple quadruple. And in all the examples, measure 1 consists of just the beat, which is the quarter note. Measure 2 consists of the division of the beat, all eighth notes. And in measure 3, we have subdivision, and each of the 4 examples has a different measure 3 because the subdivision can be divided many different ways. So in the first example, if we look at the entire rhythm, we hear this. And hopefully you might be counting that as 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. This is my system that I use when I have to deal with rhythmic dictation involving subdivision. I'll make hearts. Since there are 4 beats in the measure, I'll actually make 4 hearts. Right now I just have 1 heart per measure just to show you what I'm going to do inside the heart. The heart represents the beat. So in the first measure, if I heard 4 quarter notes, inside each heart would just simply go a dot like that. If I heard in the second measure all eighth notes, then inside each heart I would just simply go dot dot for my division. If I hear subdivision, such as 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a, like this, then if that occurred on each beat, inside my heart would go 4 dots, representing 1 E and a, of equal value. So that's what I would do for that. That's the simplest way of doing 4/4 because the subdivision is all there and it's equal. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Let's look at the second example. Again, if I have 4 quarter notes, I'll just put a dot in between on each heart, and there'll be 4 hearts in the measure. If I hear all eighth notes, I would put 2 dots in the measure, in the heart. And for the third measure, my pattern has changed. It's not 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a anymore. It's 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. Okay, so we have 2/16ths followed by an eighth. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. You can think of that as short, short, long, short, short, long, short, short, long, short, short, long. Listen to it. And if that was the case, if we heard that on a particular beat, I would do dot, dot, line, representing short, short, long. Looks like a face. In the third example, we will have just dots in the heartbeat for the quarter notes, 2 dots for the eighth notes representing the division. And if you look carefully, the third measure has changed. It's not short, short, long. Now it's long, short, short. And the way of counting that, you probably know, would be 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a, where the first part of the beat is longer than the second part. Let's take a listen to that 1 and a 2 and a, and hopefully you'll hear the long, short, short, long, short, short pattern. I would start out in my heart doing a line representing the long pattern, followed by the 2 dots. Long, short, short, long, short, short. That's 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. And in the last one, I can put a dot for my quarter note on each heart, representing the beat that I hear. If the beat is subdivided and we hear eighth notes, we can put 2 dots. And this is a tricky pattern. Okay, we have a short followed by a long followed by a short. The way of counting that would be 1 E 2 E 3 E 4 E. The and is in parentheses right here. It's short, long, short, short, long, short, short, long, short, short, long, short. Listen to it. When you hear that short, long, short pattern, or that 1E, a 2E, a 3E, a 4E, a pattern, we would do a dot, followed by a line, followed by a dot, representing short, long, short. That's one way that you can do rhythmic dictation using subdivision. I'm going to play all of these measures that we see in order, starting with the first example, so you can follow along and you can maybe look at my little heart system here, my beat heart system, my heartbeat system, I should say. So here I go. Okay, the hard part's going to be when we combine all these rhythms, you know, and have quarter notes and eighth notes and a subdivision all on different beats in each measure. So that's what we're about to do on the next page. So here I have what I was talking about. We'll do 2-measure rhythmic dictations. You can practice this with me. So let's do the first one in 4/4. So we'll put our time signature in. You can draw your hearts. So each heart represents a beat. There's 4 beats to the measure. And let's try doing this together. I'm going to play the first example, and I'd like you to try to fill in the heartbeat system. Okay, so here it is. Ready and go. Listen to it again. I've done the heartbeat system, and now I can transfer that to rhythm. Hopefully you realize that measure 1 and measure 2 were identical in rhythm. Started off pretty easy. And now that I have it notated rhythmically, we can follow the rhythm and you can see what you just heard. I'll play it. Ready and go. So beat occurs on 1 and 4, division occurs on beat 2, and subdivision occurs on beat 3. In each heart, notice I have just 1 dot for the beat on 1 and 4. On beat 2, we heard division. That was our 8th note, so I put 2 dots. And on beat 3, we heard subdivision, 4 equal parts. So that was our 3E enda. If I were to count this, it would be 1, 2, and 3E enda 4. 1, 2, and 3E enda 4. Now suppose I have the same rhythm, but I want to transcribe it for 4/2 and not 4/4. Well, you have to know what type of note gets the beat. In this case, the half note gets the beat. Okay? Half note equals the beat. So I might want to put a little reminder here. I can draw a half note in my heart if I wanted to, just to keep my... So now I know that the half note is the beat, which means the quarter note represents the division and the 8th note represents the subdivision. So I can take that same pattern, let's listen to it, that I did in 4/4. Let's listen. Ready and go. can transcribe that for the time signature of 4/2. So I know my half note gets the beat. So listen to it again and do your heartbeat system. That would be dot, then dot dot, 4 dots, and 1 dot. And if I'm in 4/2, the half note gets the beat like that. Quarter note becomes a division, and eighth notes become the subdivision. So it would be like so. Now I can connect these 4/8 notes together because they occur on the same beat. Recall that from the beginning of the year. Okay, let's try another example. We're going to go back to 4/4. And if you remember from the previous page, which I'll quickly show you, so we really did the first example here where we had the 1E and a 2E and a. Now I may decide to use some of these other patterns here, where you hear the short, short, long pattern of the subdivision, or you hear the long, short, short pattern, or you hear the short, long, short pattern. So you probably are going to hear, you know, something like 1E end, or 1 enda, or 1E a. So be on the lookout, get your heartbeats ready. We're in 4/4. Okay, and here is the example. 1, 2, here I go. Listen to it again. Ready and go. Try to notate that. And we can look up, I've done the answer. You can see inside my heartbeat that I have long, short, 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 long, short, short, beat. Long, short, 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 long, short, short, beat. Transferred to counting, that would be 1 and a 2E and a 3 and a 4. 1 and a 2E and a 3 and a 4. Transferred to notation, it would be 1/8 to 16ths, 4/16ths, 1/8 to 16ths quarter. That's 1 and a 2E and a 3 and a 4 is the pattern that you heard there. Listen to it and follow along. Ready and go. And one more time, ready and go. So the hearts really help me to figure out the subdivision. Okay, suppose I want to transfer that to 4/2. The same exact rhythm. Let's try doing that. So you're going to hear the same exact rhythm, only we'll have to transcribe it in a different meter. Here's the rhythm. Again, recall that in 4/2, our half note gets the beat, and the quarter note is the division, and the eighth note is the, I'm going to write SD for subdivision. try to notate that in 4/2. Okay, so here I'm just going to group the beats so you can see. Remember, there's still 4 beats in the measure, it's just that the half note gets the beat now. So if I add up this first red bracket, that equals a half note, a quarter note plus 2 eighth notes. So there's a beat, that's a half note. These 4 16th notes will equal a half note. This quarter and this 2 eighths will equal a half note, and the half note is the beat. Here we can still count it the same way as we did 1 and a 2e and a 3 and a 4. Okay, so you see how each beat also, I'm going to put a little dash here, each beat is clearly defined and not connected. What I can't do is connect this quarter note to this eighth note like so, because then it changes the value of the quarter note and it becomes an eighth note, so we don't want that to happen. I'm going to go back to my black marker now and fix what I erased by mistake, like so. And now we can watch the heartbeats and watch our notation for a time signature of 4/2 with this subdivision. Here it is now. Okay, let's try another example. We'll be in 4/4 and we'll do 2 measures. Draw your heartbeats, that helps. And we will hear subdivision in this. And it might be, remember, let me show you again from the first page, we might be hearing some of this right here, or perhaps some of this, or some of this. So you can listen for those long and short patterns. Okay, here's your first listen. 1, 2, ready, go. Here it is again, ready and go. Hopefully you came up with what I came up with. I heard a short, short, long pattern in this one. That would be the 1E end and 3E end. That's what beats it occurred on. Listen to the pattern again. Ready and go. Counting would be 1E end, 2 end, 3E end, 4. And it was the same thing in both measures. 1E end, 2 end, 3E end, 4. If you take a look at my heartbeats, they really help with the dots and the dash for the subdivision. Okay, please take a moment and transcribe that from 4/4 to 4/2. Same rhythm. Okay, listen to it once again. Check your work. Ready and go. Counting would still be the same. 1E and 2 and 3E and 4. Look at the red brackets. I've actually grouped the beats so you can see that each beat is going to add up or equal a half note, because the half note in 4/2 gets the beat. Let's try another example. We'll do 4/4. And here it is. 1, 2, ready, go. Listen to it again. Ready and go. Listen to it again. Ready and go. Hopefully you hear that short, long, short pattern, which is represented in my heartbeats on beat 1 and beat 3 of both measures. Counting it would be 1E, a 2, and 3E, a 4. 1E, a 2, and 3E, a 4. And that's how you would notate it for 4/4. Please take a moment and try to transcribe that for 4/2. The same exact rhythm. Remember 4/2, the half note equals the beat. Here it is again, ready and go. Okay, so I've grouped the beats so you can see where the actual beats occur. There are 4 distinct beats in this. Right here is beat 1, beat 2, all clearly divided. And that's a little bit of rhythmic dictation involving division and the subdivision of the beat. We'll try some examples in triple meter now, simple triple. Okay, let's try some 3/4. We'll do 2 measures. Notice I took a heart away from each measure because we're only dealing with 3 beats per measure. In 3/4, the quarter note receives the beat. And let's try this one. Here it is. Here's your first listen. Ready, set, go. Listen to it again. Ready and go. And one last time, ready and go. Maybe one more time. Here it is, ready and go. So on beat 1, we heard 1 ienda. So I have 4 dots in my heartbeat for beat 1. In my heartbeat for beat 2, we heard a long, short, short pattern. That's 2 enda. And then we heard the reverse of that on beat 3. We heard short, short, long, meaning 3 end. The second measure was identical to that of the first. Let's take a listen and watch the notation. Ready and go. Can you please now transcribe that for 3/2? Same exact rhythm. In 3/2, the half note receives the beat, quarter note receives the division, eighth notes are the subdivision. Right now I'm grouping my beats with my red bracket. What we want to do is group those 4 eighth notes together For this, they are one beat. 4/8 notes in 3/2 are one beat. And you can see with my little dashes here that I have separated the beats, clearly showing me a meter of 3/2. Let's try another example. This is 3/4. And here we go. Ready, set, go. Let's listen to that again. Ready, and go. And one more time, ready and go. On beat 1 in both measures, we heard this. That's 1 E-enda. That's 4/16 notes in 3/4. On beat 2 in both measures, we heard that short, long, short pattern. Look at how it's notated. We have a 16th, then an 8th, then a 16th. That's the short, long, short. On beat 3 in both measures, we have the long, short, short pattern, which is 3-enda. I can write the counting in, and you can too if that helps. 1 E-enda, 2 E, 3 enda, 1 E-enda, 2 E, 3 and Listen to it while watching the heartbeat and the rhythm. Ready and go. 1 E-enda, 2 E, 3 enda, 1 E-enda, 2 E, 3 enda. Please transcribe that same exact rhythm for 3/2. Okay, if you look carefully, I bracketed my beats so that each red bracket is the beat and should add up to a half note. 4/8 equal a half. An eighth plus a quarter plus an eighth equals a half. A quarter plus 2/8 equals a half. That's how we would notate it in 3/2. Notice my red dashes separate each beat, which is what we want. Okay, we're going to be moving on to compound meter pretty soon. That'll be a separate video, which is a little bit more difficult, but we'll still use this heartbeat system, and you'll find it hopefully easier than any other system. Thanks for watching, college.